Hey guys, Hello Bella here, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about starting a brand new Etsy shop to sell print-on-demand products. So a little backstory, I have been doing Amazon merch for about, since 2017, so for quite some time. I've sold over 35,000 t-shirts with Amazon merch, made over $100,000 profit, but one thing I realized is that I'm leaving a lot of money on the table by not doing other print-on-demand services, especially since I have over 7,000 designs on my computer at this point. So I decided to start from scratch and build a new Etsy shop. This is going to be the process of me doing that, the first couple of days in business, setting everything up, talking you through how to do it, my thought process behind doing this, as well as Amazon merch, and how I will try to make it profitable by the end of 2025. There is a little bit of upfront cost involved, but not too much, to be honest. Since I'm using another company to fulfill the orders, I basically have to pay them and then they ship it to the customer and then I get paid on Etsy. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in the video, but just to get started, I will show you guys how I set up the shop. Some of the things you need to know is that it now costs $29 to set up an Etsy shop. I was baffled by that. I did not know that they were now charging. I get why though, because there's just so many like fake shops and so many bots. So you do have to pay for that, and then you pay 20 cents per listing on Etsy. So I have now uploaded, I think, a little over 50 designs in my shop. Over the course of the first couple of days, what I really wanted to do was figure out how to set up my shop so that it looks like a real person owns it, and also how to integrate everything from Printful. Printful is the print provider that I'm going to be using. So basically what I do is I design everything in Printful, and then the Printful sends it to Etsy, and then Etsy gets that information, and then as those sell, Printful will fulfill the orders for me. So you can see I'm not having to touch any of my own merchandise. Basically, I'm just deciding what goes on the shirt and the mock-ups. Oh my gosh, so much to say about mock-ups. Probably a whole video just for mock-ups. Anyways, the mock-ups that I've been working on, some that I've been using AI to generate, some of them I've been just kind of looking at Canva for, but that is a big part of the process, is standing out in the search results with your listings. Now, the first thing that I would do if I'm going to set up a print-on-demand store is I would just go on Etsy and start looking at all the numerous stores and which ones are having success. A lot of these stores are fairly new and they're having success, so that's something that I look for, is how new a store is. If a store has thousands of listings or 100 listings, it doesn't really matter as long as the listings are selling consistently. Some stores you can check their sales if they have that turned on so you can see what's been selling for them. Another thing is to see what kind of mock-ups the store is using. A lot of popular mock-ups involve like a girl basically wearing a necklace, a little bit of hair coming down, and then you see the t-shirt. So think like that, like think like a customer whenever you are looking through Etsy, and keep that in mind as you go about setting up your shop and as you go about choosing the mock-ups. A lot of the initial designs that I put up, I just used the Printful mockup. So basically Printful has all of these mockups already available. So if you don't feel like making a mockup, you can click a button and choose which one you want, and it will show the mockup for every single color. So that's what's on most of my listings right now. I am experimenting a little bit with my own mockups, but for now, my main goal was to just have my shop have a decent amount of inventory so that it looked full. It didn't look like there was only 5 or 6 things up. So currently I'm selling t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, baby onesies. I think I have one tank top up. Everything you want to sell, you can sell from Printful or whatever print provider that you choose, but basically you need to know what your profit margin is on these. So on Amazon merch, I'm used to only making about $3 to $5 per sale. Now with Etsy Printful integration, I'm gonna make probably closer to $7 per sale. So I just look at any business as, okay, how can I make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month off of this business? So even if I'm making $5 profit per sale with the Etsy thing, if I sell 100 t-shirts a month, that's an extra $500 a month, and that's an extra $6,000 a year. That's how I choose to look at all of my side hustles. So let's take a look at how setting up this shop has gone.
Okay guys, I have completely started from scratch on this Etsy shop. I have not had a new Etsy shop in probably 7 years. My old Etsy shop got shut down. I started another Etsy shop where I just sell digital files, but I decided since I'm doing print on demand, that might be confusing for the customer if I'm selling files and t-shirts. So I went ahead and made this new shop. I called it Feral Bella, and I made a raccoon, and I used Canva to make this banner, and I used Canva's AI to generate a raccoon wearing a t-shirt. So I can see now that the mock-ups are very important. I learned a lot about mockups this week, and I definitely still have a long way to go. I honestly just wanted to get something in the shop, so I tried to get a couple of designs up that are like Halloween or like feral themed. So you can see here, this mock-up right here I generated using Printful. So that one was just within the system. This is also a Printful generated mock-up. Up here, this one I made on Canva. This one I made on Canva, Printful again. And then on Printful, you also have the option to add in your own background for your mock-ups. So what I did was I created a scene in Printful, and I just made the scene this wood background. I also played around with this background right here, but I think it might be a little bit too busy, the lights and stuff. I'm not really sure. Most people's shops looks pretty tame compared to the chaos of mine. So right now I feel like it's just definitely like under development. So all of these items are items that I'm fulfilling with Printful's Etsy integration. So what that means is that whenever a customer purchases it, Printful will get that order and they'll fulfill it for me. So I'm just using my old Amazon merch designs to make a brand new shop. And most of these designs are actually have some content that was AI generated. Some of these were completely AI generated. A lot of the ones that are AI generated are just the photo, and then I go back in and I add the text. So this is my first 2 days on Etsy. So I have 20 listings up now, and I think my goal is going to be to just add like 10 listings a day. I'm doing all of this through Printful. So you can see here, this is my Printful dashboard with my template. So right now I'm working on like some sweatshirts, some t-shirts. I have like the Bella canvas. You can see your different stores. You can see all of the different products that they allow in Printful. So right now I'm just trying to focus on a select few products. I don't want to overwhelm the customer. It seems like these Bella canvas shirts do pretty well, and then they've got different brands that you can choose from. They have comfort colors as well, so pretty much anything you could think of you can sell with Printful. But we're going to give it a shot and just kind of start from scratch here. One thing I noticed on Etsy now is that it's harder for me to find my shop. I literally typed in Feral Bella and I couldn't find my shop on Etsy. It used to let you search shops, so I'm not sure if my shop hasn't indexed yet. I only started it on the 14th and I'm recording this on the 16th, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But you can see here, most of these designs are kind of in the same like woodland creatures, feral, chaotic, girly kind of niche. I think it's important to have some kind of branding, something cohesive to let the customer know that yes, I have 0 sales, so I do need some element of trust to come together. I probably also need to fill out my bio and stuff, but it just hasn't been a major priority. I've just been trying to get these listings up. Etsy will allow you to see your shop stats. So this is my shop stats. Even though I just started my shop 2 days ago, I have had 64 visits. So that's kind of cool. You can see the day I started my shop was September 14th. I had 26 visits. Yesterday, I got my shop up to 20 items and I had 35 visits, and it's early in the morning when I'm recording this. I've only had 3 visits. I've got 1 follower, but that is myself. I'm my first follower on my other Etsy account. I've gotten 2 abandoned carts, which means people have put the item in their cart and left. That's a really, really good sign to me because that means that people are finding my designs. Etsy also gives you ratings based on how you respond to customers, so it's really important to try to respond quickly whenever there's an inquiry. I noticed when I first set up this shop, I'm getting a lot of spam. I'm getting a lot of like, we received a shipping request, next steps for tracking, so that is spam. If you get a bunch of messages your first couple of days doing Etsy, do not ever respond to these. Make sure that you mark it as spam, and then you'll probably get emails as well saying they're from Etsy. Make sure you go directly to Etsy to do anything, because it seems like there's a lot of scammers who are trying to target new Etsy shops, and you might get excited and think, well, I just have, a customer, I'm so excited, and you don't think through it. So just make sure that you're thinking through it. Okay, so if we go into my shop and look at all the listings, you can see which ones have gotten visits. So 2 visits, 1 visit, 2 visits. And keep in mind, guys, this is just over my first 2 days. So this one got 6 visits. The hang in there, it gets worse. Skeleton tote bag. The margins on the tote bags are about $5, I believe, having them priced at $20. So I'll keep $5 profit, which is 25% profit is not bad. So that one, maybe it will sell. 2 visits, 2 visits, 1 visit, 1 visit, 3 visits on the spooky and feral, 10 visits on the most definitely not all in a row. That was a completely AI generated design. I used ChatGPT to make that. I've done a lot of experimenting with ChatGPT to make t-shirts, and I'm going to say, like, it's not perfect, but it does create some decent quality designs. Sometimes I give it a reference image and that seems to work a little bit better, or I'll give it 2 or 3 reference images, but then I'll change the niche. I'll hop over to Canva really quickly to show you guys what I've been working on. It is a work in progress. Please don't judge me. I've been looking into this like for the last 2 days, and I realized, like, oh my gosh, my mockups are not very good. They're getting there, but One thing I realized is that you can't just put a random tag on a shirt if it's not that shirt, because the customer will get confused, because Printful is selling different types of shirts. So for example, if you're doing a Gildan 5000, you want to make sure that the mock-up you use looks pretty close to a Gildan 5000. So going with a generic shirt that doesn't have a tag seems like the most safe thing right now, although I'll probably wind up buying some mock-ups. I just went into Canva and started typing t-shirt mock-up and eventually realized like, oh, I can make my own if I just get the background and stuff like that. This one's completely Canva generated. This one's Canva, this one's Canva, this one's Canva. Okay, so this one I was playing around with. Okay, so basically if I was going to make my mock-up with this black folded shirt, I would click the listing and then I would put it as close to what it's going to look like on the shirt. One issue I'm seeing here is that that shirt is not centered. So if you see here, if you just look at this, the shirt is not, it's not quite centered. So there's more on the right than there is the left, which is causing it to look weird. So that's sort of problematic. So what I need to do is make sure that this is at least centered on the shirt. So just kind of having to look at the guidelines a little bit here. So alive out of spite. And then I might put it a little bit bigger. Just depends on how, once again, how big it's going to be on the shirt. In my opinion, this mock-up itself, not that great. The Alive Out of Spite doesn't really go with the cute, happy background, so let's just try it with this one. Okay, so this one, definitely more on brand for what we've got going on. I've definitely seen some great mock-ups from Etsy shops. One thing I think is good to do is to just go and study other Etsy shops. So In Demand, 4 people bought this in the last 24 hours. If you're doing research, you can definitely look into that. So you know they have a comfort colors. You can select an option. So let's just go, I guess we'll try the pepper color, and then we'll go with a medium. I've also gotten some product reviews, which really helps. Eventually you can see this design is not printed very well. It just doesn't look that great in my opinion. It did get a really good review though, so that's good. I'm not trying to hate on the shop at all. It's good that they're making sales. Just, you know, just something from a design perspective, I'm not necessarily seeing a great quality design. This one much better. We could look at their other mock-ups and see, are they using that same one? So you can see they've played around with it as well. This one of their better sellers, is just the folded shirt. So that's something to keep in mind. This rural postal delivery, I really like this design. I would personally wear this. So that's how I know that I could potentially make something similar. And then just kind of knowing like, okay, this is the mock-up that it's on. That one's a folded one. With this mock-up, you can see that it's a little bit folded, so that's also something that is like harder to place the design if it like comes off the edge or it doesn't look right. So I'd be curious to know what they were using for their mock-ups. If we look at the listing that Printful just made for me, basically Printful sends this information directly to Etsy, so you don't have to really make a mock-up if you don't want to. I just chose this particular one because it looked like some of the other ones that are going on Etsy. So Printful will basically let you put all of the colors on here in order, and it puts the mock-ups in order of the colors that they're showing, so you can flip through this. And I would always recommend that you probably give the customer 5 to 6 choices. I wouldn't give them a whole lot of choices, and I also try not to confuse them. Like, I don't want to put too many different black, like heather black, dark black, vintage black. That's a little bit too many choices for the customer in terms of like different black colors. This is one of the first listings that I made. It actually might have been the very first listing that I made. So I would like to, you know, narrow it down a little bit more. But for the description, Printful literally just does everything. You don't have to do a whole lot. So the t-shirt is everything you've dreamed of and more. It feels soft and lightweight with the right amount of stretch. It's comfortable and flattering, and then it gives them all of the information that they'll need. Production partner is, I'm making this item with help from Printful from Charlotte, North Carolina. So you'll need to put that in your Etsy shop description that you use Printful as a production partner. So I'm going to add a product to my store. I'm just going to go to Feral Bella and then add product. And then it's going to take me to all of the choices that I have. And I'll probably just keep using the Bella Canvas. I don't see it here immediately. There it is. So Bella Canvas 3001. I'll show you real quickly how to go through this and how to set everything up. You guys, I literally just learned all of this like in the last 2 to 3 days. I've been watching videos about it, but for the most part, this is all self-taught. So let's go ahead and choose a design. So let's upload the design here. Okay, so you'll upload your design first to the file library, and I'm doing a frog shirt that says Country Toads Take Me Home. So you'll click apply, and we'll go ahead and apply that to the shirt. Now here's where you're going to have to make some decisions. So you can see that this design right as it is, it looks to me a little bit too big to be on the shirt like that. So I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. I don't want to make it a lot smaller because I don't want it to be tiny on the shirt. I'm always like amazed when people make the design take up the whole entire shirt because I'm like, that's not going to print well because humans aren't flat, we're curved. So just keep that in mind when you're making your design. So now we'll click product and you'll be able to choose the colors. Now it's automatically got all the colors I had from the last time that I made a shirt up, so I'll have to go in and change that. For this one, it's probably most simple to go with black because that one's the clearest one to read, and then I'll take that one off. Some people are liking browns and greens a lot right now, so I'll probably add brown because it adds to that Western look. There's also gray, olive, heather brown. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, that actually looks really good. I like that a lot. The heathers, they're always popular. Dark gray heather. Okay, I like that too. There's like a sage color. I'm not sure how this design would look on that. It's okay. It's not my favorite, but I'll probably leave it on there because it seems to be really popular. And then there's like some of the like beige colors. Sad beige is always in style. I don't like that one. This one's pebble. Pebble actually looks pretty good too. So that I think that's enough choices. And then you'll go in and you'll select the sizes that you want to offer. So I'm going to click custom mockups and create my own mockup because I've already got those backgrounds I showed you uploaded. Might be wishful thinking, but I feel like I'm going to get my first sale this week. I really just have a good feeling about it. Looking at the design on this mockup, see, on this it looks smaller and on the other one it looks bigger. So it's a little bit like, I'm not sure exactly how big to make the design, but you can always go back and click product and change the dimensions of it, and you can change it after you publish it to Etsy. So what I'm going to do here is show you, you can use their scenes. They've got scenes provided for you. What it does is it goes in and it gives a layering effect. So let's just choose this one and see what it looks like. This is what it's going to look like if you use their particular background in their scene. You can see some other ones. They've got like, this one's kind of like succulents or something. So you can see what it would look like. So you can do like an A/B split test, like this one versus that one. So let me just show you the ones that I've made. I made this brick wall. It just looks simple and clean. That's just my personal preference. And then I made this other wall. It's like a light gray background. So I'm going to choose the light gray background. I'm going to select and continue and then click apply. What that's going to do is it's going to add this particular mockup to every color iteration. So you'll see here mockups that will be displayed in your storefront. It's a little laggy, like it's not completely caught up on all the colors, but what I need to do right now is to select the particular color that I want to be the Etsy thumbnail. So what I'm going to choose is going to be the heather brown. I think that one looked pretty good. You're not seeing it right now, but you will see it when you go to publish. So click continue. This is the point where you're going to have to make the listing's title. Country Toads Take Me Home t-shirt. Frog Cowboy Western. Bella Canvas 3001 T. Any other keywords we can think of. Keywords and SEO is very important. Your title, you know, how they find you. I might put cottage core because it's like the frog, like woodland creature, southern, because it's kind of like a southern song. So again, you're not seeing it here, but I promise it's going to go through. This gives you all the details pre-filled. I'm using this as the size chart, and this is where you'll put your tags. So you can see I've already got some tags on there. Frog, country toads, take me home, southern, woodland, creature, country, cowboy t-shirt, and then I'm just going to hit continue. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and change the price here. So you can choose any price that you feel is reasonable. For me, I'm choosing a price point of $19.95 to make $8.26 profit. So I'm just going in and changing all of those. So one thing you'll notice is when the size goes up to 2x, the profit margin goes down because those shirts cost more. So I've got to make that price point a little bit higher. So I chose $22.95. And then you're going to hit your final thing. Well, one of your final things, which is submit to store. After you submit it to your store, you're going to need to go in and finish editing it in Etsy so you can publish it. So let's choose submit to store. Here you'll see that it is waiting to be processed. These are all the ones that I've previously sent to my Etsy store. You can still edit them in Printful, and you can still edit them in Etsy, either way. But if you're editing them in Printful, you can change the design size. So like if you didn't like the size or you needed to go back, you could definitely do that. Now I'm going to hop over to Etsy and show you how you finish the completed listing. Okay, so I'm in my listings in under shop manager. You can see now I have 20 active and 1 draft. The draft is that listing that I just synced. So all I need to do now is go in and choose edit, and it's not live yet. We've got to check out a few things. So you go to adjust thumbnail. That's what the thumbnail is going to look like when the customer sees it. So one reason that people use mockups is because it's very hard to see the design as it is. So this is why I need to invest time and money into mockups, because right now my designs are not standing out compared to those mockups that the person's wearing it. It's got like a whole vibe going. You see the girl, the necklace, all of it. You get a better feel for how it would look on you. But as promised, you can see the mockups contain each color that I told you that it would do. And then we've also got the size chart for the customer to make their size decision. So let's go down and see everything looks correct to me. All of that stuff synced. It does have the shipping stuff on there, and I'm going to set this to automatically renew so that whenever a customer buys it, it will continue to be available. So basically it'll get relisted immediately. So let's go ahead and click publish with changes, and then it's going to say it's going to be 20 cents, and you're going to choose publish, and then you are done. You have listed your t-shirt for sale on Etsy. So now that you've seen how to use Printful, you can see that it's pretty simple to set everything up. The main thing is just setting up a shop that you feel like is cohesive. You can see that I've got a lot of animals on my shirt. I've got kind of a chaotic vibe going, and I think that this is going to make sales. This is the first time I've been on Etsy in literally like years for print on demand, so I feel like this will be a good test to see how this goes.
So there is a lot that goes into setting up a shop, but it is doable, and I think that it's actually really a lot easier if you use some type of AI, especially to help you generate your designs, and especially to help you with just like filling in titles, descriptions, all the things like that. I mean, you really don't have to mentally think through it if you'll use AI to help you in that process, especially when it comes to search engine optimization. Titles are very important on Etsy. People are typing in that stuff to figure out how to find your product. If they can't find it, they can't buy it. So keep that in mind. I hope that you guys enjoyed my journey. In the beginning, I sold my first shirt to my mom, so she was nice enough to purchase that from me. So my plan is to get her to leave a review for it with a photo, so that way my shop will look legitimate. But that's just one thing that you can do. You can also just kind of buy your own thing. I just thought it would look slightly more legitimate having my mom buy it. So we're going to do the comfort colors. There's also Bella Canvas tees. There's a Gildan shirts, pretty much anything you can think of. Depends on what profit margin you want to make. You have a lot of opportunity when it comes to making money with Etsy. Etsy is not oversaturated. I was literally looking up some of my designs that I have on Amazon merch, and there was not a single competitor on Etsy, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is like untapped money here. So I'm really hoping that I can come back with an update soon and show you guys exactly what's been going on in terms of profit. I will let you guys know when I make my first sale, but for now I've got it all set up. I'm ready to go, and I'm ready for Q4. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Take care.